ahead, I would like to say a very good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to day one of TechSafeHer Labs 2025. We're so pleased to have you here. On behalf of the Miriam Adeola Gbadebo Mag Foundation, I thank you all for joining this timely and important training. For those meeting us for the first time, the MAG Foundation is a non-profit organization established in 2023 and registered with CAC. We exist to foster transformative change across Africa, advancing gender equality, good health, and environmental sustainability. Our vision is an Africa that is equitable, healthy, and empowered. And we pursue that through three core areas: promoting gender equity and economic empowerment, strengthening environmental sustainability, and improving health and reducing disease burden. Our work is guided by values which we hold deeply: diversity, inclusion, empowerment, accountability, transparency, innovation, collaboration, transformative change, and most importantly, equity. These values are especially relevant today as we gather to address one of the most pressing issues in the digital age: the safety, dignity, and protection of women, girls, and young people in online spaces. When we opened the applications for the workshop, we were inspired by the diversity of those who joined: students, entrepreneurs, civil servants, freelancers, broadcasters, development workers, and more, representing voices from across Nigeria. Many participants shared that they use social media primarily for personal engagement, some for business, and other reasons. Yet, over half indicated that they or someone they know has experienced one form of online harassment, cyberbullying, or digital abuse. These insights remind us why the training is both necessary and urgent. The digital world has opened doors for education, entrepreneurship, advocacy, and community building, but it has also created new avenues for harm and tech-facilitated gender-based violence. As more African women and young people live, work, and lead online lives, ensuring their safety is not optional, it is essential. This is why TechSafeHer Labs was created, to equip individuals and organizations with knowledge, confidence, and tools to navigate the digital space safely and to protect those most at risk. Over the next 3 days, we will build from foundation to practice. Today, we begin with gender mainstreaming in digital spaces, exploring how systems, behaviors, and norms intersect with technology. Tomorrow, we'll proceed to deepen into digital safety and protection. On day 3, we'll focus on trauma-informed care and pathways to recovery. Every session has been designed to be practical, engaging, and deeply relevant to the realities participants face online. I therefore encourage you to participate fully, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and connect with one another online. The strength of this training lies not just in the content, but in the collective wisdom and lived experience in this room. On behalf of the MAG Foundation, once again, I welcome you. Thank you for showing up to this meeting. Thank you for choosing to learn, and thank you for being part of the movement to build a safer, more equitable digital future for African women and girls. Welcome to TechSafeHer Labs 2025.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for that inspiring and wonderful speech. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll do the honor of introducing our facilitator for the day. I'll be introducing our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed. get her citation. Our speaker for today is, her name is Lucy Chikodili Okonkwo. Lucy is the Program Executive, AI and Digital Innovations, and Head of Models and Metrics at DataFight. Her work focuses on strengthening Nigeria's socio-economic development through data, transparency, emerging technologies, and citizen participation in governance. So let's join me as we welcome Ms. Lucy as she takes over from now. Thank you, Ms. Lucy.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yes, we
All
can.
right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's actually an honor. It's actually a delight to be here today. Thank you so much, Mark Foundation, for this honor. I am greatly honored, and this conversation is quite an interesting conversation and an important conversation. When I saw the title of the topic, and then because I'm a researcher, I'm first a researcher. I went online to, go about trying to look up conversations around this, and I found out that this conversation is not something that's really being had. So it's important that we're having this conversation right now. It's very important, and thank you for the honor. All right, so I don't know if my slides can be displayed. Just go ahead.
You can go ahead with your introduction. We'll display your slides shortly.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So it's an interesting conversation to be had. So the title of my presentation today will be on gender mainstreaming in digital safety interventions. So going online and trying to look for conversations around digital safety, what you will see mostly is digital equity. We need gender to bridge the gender divide gap in digital space and all that. But we don't have that conversation around, okay, now this digital space is there, the website is there, social media is there, and everything is there. So what does that mean for safety? We've had so many cases of, sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't even know we do it online. And then we've had so many cases of people who have actually committed suicide or had some other traumatic events because of lack of digital safety, because of lack of safety online. And it's important that we start having this conversation so we can keep our people safe and keep women safe. Sorry, please do pardon me. All right. Okay. So I would begin by sharing my slides. All right. We're about to start. Just give me a few moments. All right. All right. Can you all see my slides? Can you all see my slides? Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Esther. Right, so we'll start first with what digital safety is. I'm sure maybe for some of you, you're hearing this word for the first time, digital safety. I beg, what's that? What's that thing? Digital safety. I thought all of us are using this thing together. All of us are on this same internet. What's the use of now prioritizing digital safety, especially for the females? What's that about? But let's first start by defining the concept of what digital safety truly is. So what is digital safety? Digital safety it consists of practices, technologies. Take note of the words I'm using. practices, technologies, and policies designed to protect data systems and digital information from threats and risks originating from cyberspace. All right, so it's to protect all the practices, every single thing you do on any digital platform is the practices, the technology itself, the policies that are behind it, gathering your digital information and keeping it safe from threats, risk originating from every single thing to do with the cyberspace. All right, so that's what digital safety is. Now, I want to define key terms because as we go through this, as we continue and proceed through this conversation, we'll be having, we'll be taking note of these terms. These terms will keep coming up, 1 here, 2 there, 3 here. All right, so first is digital information. Digital information, these are, of course, your digital identity, your data, and personal information. You know that part where you're about to download something from the internet, or you just move on a website and you just see a data privacy box will pop up and then you have to click it. Yeah, so it's trying to protect your digital information. We all have digital information the same way we have identity offline, like your name, your house address and all that. Now we have things that are now taking up this digital identity for you. Like your NIN is a digital identity. Your BVN is a digital identity. What else again? I think voter's card too is online, your driver's license, all these things, they are now becoming your digital identity because they are available online, they are available on air. If I go to NIN, website now, if I go to NIN office now and they want to find out things about you, or the police wants to track you, they just go click up your NIN number and to pop up. If I go to the bank and I'm like, oh, I want to get this person's, they want to clear your account, it's your BVN they'll look for. So we all have digital identities, your data, personal information. All right. So next is digital technologies. I know when we talk about digital technologies, when I first had this same presentation somewhere and I was defining digital technologies, and I'm sure so many of us would always stick to social media because that's the main thing. That's not but that's the main thing that's popping up in our faces these days. And we see just social media. When they say digital technologies, what comes to our head is, oh, social media platform, my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok space. But digital technologies are products that exist in digital format, including television. Yeah, television is a digital, radio, broadcasting, texting, nothing you do with your MTN or your Glow line that you text somebody. That's also, it's done on a digital technology, which is your phone, right? Online mediums, websites, social media, podcasts, all these things are digital technologies. So it's not just limited to your social media platform. The podcast you listen to is also like a digital technology kind of thing. So that's why I want to define it in the broad term, because when we'll be pointing out certain things, you will see they appear somewhere other than just your social media platform. All right, so the next thing I want to define is digital policy. What is digital policies? These are a set of strategies and regulations that guide the development and use of digital technologies. Every single time you want to use a website, something pops up for you. You know, that thing that we don't read. That thing that every single time we want to use a website or a social media platform, even before you sign up on your Instagram, they brought out one long agreement that you signed and you say, I agree. So that's an example of their standard of operating that particular digital technology. That's how they operate it. So you sign an agreement. So whatever they do after you sign that agreement, that policy agreement is left to you and them. All right, now, so the next thing now is to know what it means to be violated, because it's one thing to know how to be safe. It's next thing now is to know when you are violated or how you are violated on these digital platforms. So a digital safety violation is a breach of privacy, security, or well-being online stemming from harmful content, contact, or conduct. So I repeat again, it's a breach of your privacy, security, well-being online, stemming from harmful content, contact, or conduct. So some of you might not know you've been violated once in a while, but this is what digital safety violation is. Sometimes, it happens often that people hack people's WhatsApp. Your Facebook is hacked, your WhatsApp is hacked, and someone just come on another group acting like you and collecting money from different people. How many of you have had that kind of incident? Or know someone who have had that kind of incident? Somebody hacked into your account and then they just keep sending messages that make you look bad, defaming you, and maybe using it to do some nefarious activities in your own name. That's actually a digital safety violation. So digital safety violations, examples of them are cyber attacks, identity theft, online harassment, online defamation, doxing, hate speech, and privacy breach. There are more, but I will explain in detail as we go down in the conversation. But these are examples of somehow, some way. So aside from them hacking you, the other part is, like I said, hacking you and stealing your identity to do something else. There's also online harassment. There's also online information. Because when they hack you, they use your own digital identity to do actions that are not you. And then you get the fall for it. Hate speech and privacy breach. Just tell this story quickly. I was reading on Twitter, and someone said that their aunt, they called her and said, you are owing so amount of money, and she has been paying debt, and she never borrowed that money. Guess what? Someone else took her NIN and did something with it, and then she started paying debts. She didn't even know where she collected. She didn't even know how she collected the debt. But someone else used her NIN account, her NIN, to do something nefarious, to borrow money from a loan shark, and then she's paying debt. So that's how defamation works. That's how defamation costs us, all right? All right, so now let's keep diving down into the main topic. What is gender mainstreaming in the digital space? You might be wondering, okay, gender mainstreaming, this topic looks ambiguous, it looks big. You see that they just want to form a topic, but no, this is a real thing. What is gender mainstreaming in the digital space? Gender mainstreaming in the digital space is the process of systematically integrating a gender perspective. Okay, let me just make it simpler and cut it from these big words, systematically integrating perspective into like smaller chunks. It's bringing gender perspective into the conversation of digital technologies, digital policies, digital systems. All right. So it's bringing in that gender perspective. You know how we're bringing in gender perspective now to governance and saying, oh, we want more women to run for elections. We want more women on this. Now, we're saying we want more women on the digital space conversation. We want more women involved in digital space, deciding digital policies. We want more women on digital projects. We want more women deciding digital technologies, how they work, how they look, that they are very gender sensitive. They are not just big box of things that we're using that is not taking into consideration gender. So we want that. Sorry, I wanted to ask, are you following me so far, or am I too fast? Please, let me get that in the chat. Am I too fast, or am I, please, can you hear me? Am I too fast? Do I need to slow down, or do I need to, explain some things better? Can I hear in the chat if you can hear me? All right, okay, I'll continue. All right, so this involves assessing how digital actions affect different genders. Like I said, it's bringing up gender in the conversation of design of a social media app or design of a product. It is bringing in that gender conversation into implementation, into monitoring of digital platforms, AI, online services, and the whole 9 yards. It's bringing that conversation and saying, now We want more women, or we want, because they said it's a man's world, but we want more women in the conversation. And that's very important in this, the way we are going on in the digital space right now. All right. All right. Sorry, you can't see my slides. Okay. I'm sorry, please. Can you all see my slides? I was just informed that my slides is not visible to the audience. Please, can you all see my slides now? Can you all see my slides? Oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. I thought half the time that my slides were showing and everybody could see my slides. All right, but all right. For me, it's already in full screen. Okay. Can you see it now? Is it in full screen now? Can you see it now? All right, thank you. All right, so, okay, we'll continue from, sorry, please, do I go back, or do you want me to continue from where I stopped on gender mainstreaming and digital space, in the digital space? All right, okay, so I will continue. So why does gender matter in digital safety? How many of you have heard of tech-facilitated gender-based violence? How many of us have heard of tech-facilitated gender-based violence? Now, that's why this gender conversation is very important. It is an act of violence perpetrated by one or more individuals that is committed, assisted, aggravated, or amplified. So basically, in a whole, tech-facilitated gender-based violence is one of the major reasons why this conversation is happening today. It is becoming a very, very important conversation, even at the United Nations level. They are saying it is important that these conversations are heard because more and more cases of people being violated online are coming up. So that's why this is one of the reasons why gender mainstreaming conversations are now being brought into the digital space. All right, so what is tech-facilitated gender-based violence? It's actually every single crime. You know how it is in the offline, you might be bullied offline, but now this is taking bullying offline in your normal day person-to-person life and then bringing it online. The worst thing now is that you can be someone in South Africa can be bullying you here in Nigeria. You can be bullying someone down from Nigeria down to someone in America. So this digital space bullying has removed every single boundary, every single blockage that is making, and it's now making bullying easy. I can see your picture online and I feel like I don't like you, and then it just starts. So now these are gender-based violence. We know more about the domestic violence, those ones that happen where you hear of a story of a man beating his wife or a wife beating her husband. But now this is tech-facilitated gender-based violence. Every single thing done online. Examples of it is doxing, video image-based abuse, hate speech, cyber harassment, violent threats. You know, this thing became so important, especially around 2019 for Nigeria. You would see that the in 2019 elections, some female candidates could not even come online. They couldn't even do their campaigning online like every other male candidate, because they received hate speech. I was doing a research and I found a lady from the north saying that when she came online to start her campaign, people started calling her names and telling her, why not just go back home and cook for your kids? You're supposed to be taking care of your husband. You're supposed to be in the kitchen. Why are you out here campaigning? Government is not for you. Hate like that was just trending around in 2019 around the female candidates. So many of them went offline to campaign, and the few that were online that were noticed at that point were the ones that were strong enough to take in all those comments. So tech-facilitated based violence is a thing. It is real, it is happening, and it is not even something that should be trivialized. I'm sure many of you are currently many of you must have heard things like Gengen University. I know I'm not the only one on this conversation. So I'm bringing it to real life, how these things are happening. You know, some of us will be like, oh, the Gengen University is teaching us how to, all these things. But this is particularly targeted towards women. Gengen University, hashtag, you'd have seen a hashtag women will stay in your white, hashtag women, you see hashtag women, all these things. And some of them are even geared towards, sometimes it's not just direct, sometimes these things are even tribe-based. They'll say, this particular tribe of women, they do this. And having all these comments hit at you when you come online, sometimes it just makes you like, I beg, this social media thing is not for me. I really want to go off it. So these are examples of tech-facilitated gender-based violence. Sorry, now, types of gender-based violence. First is astrostuffing. You might not have heard of this, but it is when you share someone else's content. When they insult people, you now carry the content of the insult online, now share to somebody else, and the insult continues. This thing is astrostuffing. It's a coordinated effort to share damaging content as widely as possible across multiple channels. You must have done it, you might have done it, and you don't even know you were actually doing it. But someone will send something about somebody, maybe even on WhatsApp. You will now carry that thing like that, maybe amplify it and send it to another person, so that person's own character will be, damaged. The data shows that 58% of women globally experience this. 58% of women globally, they experience this. Second is cyber harassment. The repeated use of text and image, frequently sexual or misogynistic in nature, to instill fear in and intimidate the victim. Sometimes you must have heard it. Somebody will say, they are harassing me online. Somebody's harassing me online. They're sending me messages I did not ask them to send me. They are sending me messages concurrently. They are sending me images I don't like. They're sending me sexual images I didn't ask for. This is cyber harassment. And it says that 66% of women globally experience this. And this is just to instill fear. This is to intimidate the person. Next one is deepfake. This one is being talked about a lot, especially with the coming in of AI. False image created using the likeness of a real person. You must have seen it so many times. And they will show one, maybe they will take somebody's head off another person's suit and put it on someone else in a very compromising situation. That it will now look like it is you, that you are the one that did it, but you are not the one that did it. This is just to spread, wrong images or wrong thoughts about you. And it is said that 96% of deep fakes are due to non-consensual sex deepfakes. Of those, 99% of them are women. So women are the ones affected. 99% of deepfake images are of women, and they are in a non-consensual sexual eliciting messages. The next one is doxing. You must have heard of doxing. Sharing your information, such as address, phone number. We do this a lot in Africa. Somebody will say, please, I need to talk to that person. You've never asked that person, should I share your contacts? Should I share your phone number? You just say, this is the person's number. Take this number, call this person. You can call this person, this is the number. But you've not asked my opinion if I wanted my number shared. You've not asked my opinion if I wanted my address shared. You've not asked if I wanted that person to know my name. But we just go ahead, share. Call this person. This is the phone number. Call this person. And it's non-consensual in a situation where it's non-consensual, where I didn't give my consent for it. That's actually a type of gender-based violation. And 55% of women globally say they experience this. Hacking and stalking, the non-consensual interception of an individual's data, whereabouts, and communications. Nowadays, we are now more careful. People are saying somebody's watching. Social listening is a thing. Have you noticed that thing that when you are having a conversation or when you have checked something online somewhere, the next thing you know, your Google page will start bringing up those things. Those things will now start coming up on your Google page. That's a subtle way, though. But full-blown hacking is somebody hacking into your system, hacking into your phone, hacking into your camera. I saw like somebody's watching me. You must have watched those movies. They will say somebody's watching me through my laptop. Your camera will just be going up and down. Someone has hacked your system and is stalking you. 63% of women globally experience this. Image-based sexual abuse, of course, sharing messages, sharing your images, sharing your especially intimate messages or even sexual images. That time that they used to say nude pictures was raining that time. People were just sending people nudes and they could use that to blackmail you. And then without even the victim's consent, 57% of women globally experience this. Then there's sextortion, threatening to expose sexual images in order to coerce a person to do something. 66% of victims of this are girls, ages of 16. Girls are more young ladies between the ages of 14 and 40. All these things, they are very, 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 it's very, very easy. They are very vulnerable to these incidents of these types of tech-facilitated gender-based violence. All right, so now I'm going to present to you statistics. Fights we are known for data. Data is one of the main things we do. And if I don't bring you the data, I feel like the conversation is halfway. All right. So now, why is this thing very important? Why are we having this conversation now? Why is this conversation really important right now? One of it is a data from the New York State Office for the Prevention of Domestic Violence said that technology facilitated abuse occurs in 99.3% of gender-based violence cases. So if you bring all the gender-based violence cases, including domestic violence and everything, 99.3% of those cases were tech-facilitated gender-based violence, to show you how powerful this thing is. So that means people are now moving from offline and taking their bullying online and doing it online. All right. And he said that women are 27 times more likely than men to face harassment online. 27 times. 27 times. That's huge. That's why we're having this conversation now, especially around females. All right. Amnesty International in 2017 conducted a survey on women's experience of online abuse in 8 countries. Revealed that 62.35% of respondents said that they had experienced harassment on X, formerly Twitter. So they did this survey around women, 8 countries, around women who use the X platform, the Twitter platform, to check their experiences online. And 62.35, let's say 62% of those women said that they have experienced harassment, one form or the other. In 2020, a study was conducted by the Economics Intelligence Unit, and they found out that 85% of women respondents in 51 countries. That's huge. 51 countries. So this survey was done on 51 women from 51 countries. 85% of them said that they have witnessed online violence against other women. 63% reported knowing another woman who have been targeted online from their personal and professional network. And 38% of the women said that they had personally experienced violence online. Again, another stat says between 2020 and 2025, social media participation among women in Nigeria dropped by 7.4%. while usage among men rose by 5.3%, according to data reporter social media statistics. I'll just pause for a moment and let you take in this data. This is telling us that tech-facilitated gender-based violence is real. It means that people are now moving from offline. Most of the things we see happening offline, they have gone online. And they're not happening online. People bullied on a daily basis. People looked at, and sometimes you go online, there was a season, there was a time I went off Twitter completely because I felt that that place was giving me emotional distress, mental and emotional distress. You come on there, you have seen something that has happened again, and the insults will just be flying up and down, and there's no moderation to how they go about it. So it's just flying up and down. And I had to stay away from social media platform at that point, especially Twitter. And I could imagine for so many of these other women who come online, maybe take a picture offline, people tell them, you look amazing. And because they tell them they look amazing, they just go online, they post it. And then when they post it online, you now see comments. Her head, the way she did her hair. Her leg, her hand, her head, all her body, especially body shaming. Body shaming is one very heavy thing that they do. And they'll tell you how, this woman is not fine. She's going through this. So sometimes we do it so subtly, we don't even know. Even women, they say, a woman, they do woman. Sometimes we as even women, we do it to our fellow women. And then all these things are tech-facilitated gender-based violence. And we don't know it is a term. It's actually a term. And it happens. All right. So, all right, now, so to the effect of these digital space violations, I have said some things over time, but these things have effects. They are not, it's not like the speaker said before she introduced me. Day 2, you'll be hearing from the experts. Then day 3, you'll be hearing from actually a psychologist who is on this. This thing has an effect. The same way it has an effect on you when somebody bullies you offline, the same way it has an effect on when someone bullies you online. There is physical effects. These are things like suicide. There was a girl in America, Amanda Todd, in 2012. Because of the way she was bullied online, she committed suicide. I mean, that thing it trended at that point in time in 2012. People were talking about this young girl who was exploited, sextortion. They sent a nude picture of her going through the school, going through her environment. And the next thing you knew, she sent a message online on YouTube saying that she has nobody and that people are doing this to her. And then the next thing you know, she killed herself. She committed suicide. And these things have been happening. We might not know because there's no record of it that we can see and lay hold of. But this thing is happening. People are committing suicide over things like this. People are subjected to things that they would not have done if they were not traumatized online. Next one is psychological trauma. People are traumatized. Mental trauma. Like I told you, I went off X for a while because the insults coming from that place was getting on my mental health and my emotional health. So I had to go offline for a moment. So think of the people who are the major targets of these things. Maybe someone did something out of good context, good intentions of their heart, just to get seen, just to be visible, just to market their product. And because she's female, you are targeting her. Of course, things like low self-esteem will come out of this. Things like isolation. You will see people just becoming isolated all of a sudden, having low self-esteem, not being able to speak again. And this is as a result of things like this. Digital space violation. Economic, of course. You watch movie where they say, give me money and I will not sell your nude pictures. I will not post your video outside. I will not. So it has an economic effect as well. Social ostracization means that people, even within your family, your society, will kick you out and say they don't want to have anything to do with you because they saw your picture outside somewhere. They saw you with something somewhere that shouldn't be seen. Amnesty International did a documentary, I think in 2023, of women in some women in Thailand. And one of them said that when her offender had pictures of her without her hijab or her niqab, that's those things that cover her eye, without her eyes and her head and her nose and her body being covered. So the person had a picture of her without those things and had a picture of her, semi-clothed. And the person went ahead and started spreading it. She said the resultant effect of that was her family ostracized her. School, she was ostracized. Around her, she was looked at as this promiscuous someone who is not good socially because they saw some of her pictures online. Remember from the beginning, we say digital safety is that you have a right to your privacy. You have a right to your security. And when this thing is violated, effects like this happen. Sometimes it's sexual and reproductive harm. They too happen. People begin to morph, change their sexual orientation, change their ideology of who they are from just being digitally violated. And you don't know that the source of it, the root cause of it was actually from a violation they had online. All right, so now why is this conversation important? I've given you all the data. I've run down the data for you. I've shown you that women are the major targets of these things. And it's very important that the conversation around how to protect women online is happening, why it is now a very important conversation, why people really need to start having that conversation that women need to be protected online. Women need to be, the system needs to be curated for her too online. So one of the things is it will ensure inclusive design. So gender mainstreaming conversation in the digital space safety intervention would ensure that there's inclusive design. So integrating gender analysis at every stage, problem solving, definition, design, implementation, and evaluation of all these things. Your social media algorithm, if there's a way it can be designed that the algorithm would ensure that women are not violated, that women find comfort online. Do you know that More women are moving off of X, Twitter. There are more women on things like Instagram and TikTok than on X. I don't know why I'm like pinpointing X. X, take notes. But people are now moving off of these other social media conversations and joining and just pinpointing on going on apps like Instagram and TikTok, women, so that they can find peace of mind, so that their mind will not be violated, their body will not be violated. They know that, you come, you see my picture, you know, like you pass, you like it, just click like, or in fact, they've done it in such a way. So you see how people are now being very conscious of this, like social media apps. They've removed the button for dislike. There's no button for dislike. Have you noticed that? There's only like, and what's that other? There's like and comments. There's only like emoji and comment emoji. There's no that emoji that used to be down like this before. So you see, this is how inclusivity is being included in the designs of social media platforms, included in the designs of digital tech platforms that we are sometimes ignorant of or unconscious of. So this is why gender mainstreaming is important. The next thing is it addresses unique vulnerabilities. There are overlap vulnerabilities in age, maybe socioeconomic status. So this gender mainstreaming conversation will ensure that these vulnerabilities are closed, these gaps are closed. It will increase female participation in development of digital tools. They say the digital space, it's a man's world. Sure, you've always heard tech bro. Why don't you have tech sis? Is there no tech sis? Why is always tech bro? I know a tech bro. Can I know a tech sis? Can I know a tech sis? We want to be changing the narrative that more women are getting involved in designing and creating of social media platforms, or not just social media platforms, but technology, digital technologies that are involved in it, so that I can begin to hear tech sis. I have a tech sis, not just a tech bro. All right. All right. It promotes equal participation online. Like I said before, the number of women on social media platform dropped by 7.4%, right? And the number of male increased by 5.3%. Why don't we increase that participation level so that there will be a balanced conversation online when it comes to an issue? Sometimes when it comes to an issue online, you only hear the male perspective. You don't get to hear the female perspective because females are not butting in on that conversation. And the few ones that butt in on the conversations are kicked out or thoughts or giving names. Yeah. So we want that, remove that fear that they'll be violated, remove that fear that they would be kicked out, remove that fear that they can't participate actively and get everything. Next one is it will also improve legal and support systems, which means that they are victims of this crime, right? And they would need to have legal and support systems to help. They will need to have legal and support systems, which would include laws, policies, even support services outside of the system that has been created to encourage women to, talk about these kind of things that they've been violated. Some people, the same way sometimes people are afraid to talk offline, they come online and that same fear comes. You can't even talk about what you're going through. And it's to create support systems, even online and offline, that would encourage gender-sensitive laws, developing policies that would actually favor this gender. That's why this conversation is very important. All right, now, so I'll just go and give my recommendations. As usual, Data Fight, we are actually we're more around policies. So every time we talk about a problem, there should always be a solution that we're preferring to ensure that, there's a balance to the conversation, not just problems, but also preferring solutions. All right, so one of the solutions is policy and governance. Nigeria has a Cybersecurity Act law, I think is 2015. But that Cybersecurity Act law is so general. It's just general. So I'm bringing it down now to Nigeria. It's just general. It's all people, but there's no direct definition of terms and stuff like that that will ensure that the laws, the legal system guiding when somebody is actually found to have cyberbullied somebody. What is the take for that person? So policies and governance systems should be put in place. I remember the case of when, sorry, I'm calling names, but there was a time when VDM, and I'm so current. I feel like I'm so current because I keep going online to keep looking at stories. Yabojo and VDM went online. They had a tussle, and it entered into something to do with tech-facilitated gender-based violence because he was insulting her person. He wasn't insulting her craft, but her person, and calling her names. And actually, this case was taken to court. And to date, there has been no resolution to either pay a fine or whatever on that case. It's just been hanging. It's just a case that is pending for another time. You know how they say adjourn, case has been adjourned to another time. That case has been adjourned. So there has been nobody that has actually, we know, that has been persecuted or penalized for harassment or for bullying people online. So these things have to be taken into cognizance and made very important. Inclusive technology and tools, like I described earlier, you know how technology needs to be modified to actually also include gender sensitivity. Like I said, you will go on some apps, some social media apps, you will not see the dislike button. You only see like and comments, nothing else. So this is including more inclusive technology and tools like that would also help in keeping in gender safety online. Training and education. Some of us can't even spot this thing, even if it's happening in our face. We think it's so common because of how skit makers and how we have been numb to it by the consistent viewing of it online. We keep seeing it, they keep making it like skits, they keep making it like jokes, but we don't know that these things are actually, they have an effect on even the younger ones, 14 years old, 15 years old, 16-year-old girls who don't even know what is right or have enough self-esteem yet are looking at this content and taking it in and thinking that this is what is building them. So they can't even spot. Some of us can't even spot when we are being victimized online. So trainings and education of people to spot these things, one. Training and education of people also to recognize deepfakes. Some of us don't even know deepfakes. I should have added this to my slide. Maybe tell us to differentiate between a fake picture and a real picture. I think, but anyway, fake picture and a real picture. Some of us can't even discern deepfakes. We see people distorted on a picture and we don't know, we just think that they are the one. So we need to know how to discern deepfakes. We need to know how to do password management. We need to learn how to do privacy authentication. All these things are things we need to learn. We need to be educated on. Platform accountability and monitoring. It's very, very important. I know we've had cases where people like, well, it's not happening in Nigeria though. People like, there was a time Mark Zuckerberg was called by the American Senate. I'm sure most of you know about it. It was trending at that point to defend some things online concerning misinformation. So Mark Zuckerberg will come onto the Senate every time and begin to answer questions with regards to misinformation and defamation. And this is also platform accountability. Hold these people accountable. So because of that, there are things you will post online. There are words you will use, you will be blocked. I mean, the whole social, they will send you a message, Instagram will send you a message and say, your app has blocked because of this and this. So platform accountability, things that put platforms in check, keywords that when you say, they know that, this is a gender-based violence you're about to do. Let's just block this person's account before they take it to another level. Yeah. So platform accountability and monitoring is very important. And then support systems. I can't talk about this enough. Support systems need to be created. Don't end up rolling in that or just staying perpetually in that state. I said the effects of these things, they run their effect on people, and people they become a shadow of themselves because of this. So support systems need to be created. The same way we have support system for, pardon me, but I'm not being insensitive for rape victims. I feel they should have support systems for people who are bullied online, genuinely bullied online, for their mental health and for their emotional health. And thank you. I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. So I'll open the floor now. If you have a question, please do. I'll stop sharing my screen now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mark, for that presentation. We will now move to questions and answers. Please, if you have questions, let's have your questions on the chat box. I'll be reading them out. Well, this topic was really educative. I learned a lot. Really. Thank you so much. Thank you. So do we have questions? As we wait for questions coming in, so let me just say something. I don't know if we notice Google. What do we say about Google? Like our phones, they are always there listening to our conversation, our private conversations, and before you say something, Google will be replying you. You're talking to someone seated close to you, and then you're hearing Google answering. Do you mean this? That they're trying to give you. So like yesterday, I was mentioning a number. I was saying a number. I say 15. So Google just replied, "Do you mean 15 less? 15 more?" I'm like, I didn't invite you to this conversation. So what's that? So I think Google is prying on our privacy. I don't know what should be done about that. I don't even notice while you check your phone. You go through a particular page. Just if you focus, let's say phones, you just fill the page on a phone, and then all of a sudden, Google start bringing in ideas on that phone, Yeah, that's something. Can you speak something on that? Okay, someone said mine isn't a question, but appreciation. Thank you so much for this impactful section. I have truly added much to my knowledge. God bless you. All right, thank you. Someone said we want her to come back again. Wow, and teach us more for such. uh, uh, okay, Miss Miriam's hand is raised. Please, Miriam, can we hear you?
All right, thank you so much, Esther. And thank you very much, Lucy, for the very sound presentation. I didn't expect anything less. When it comes to data fight, we know that data fight is very diligent when it comes to fact-checked, verified data, which is one of the reasons why we chose to have this conversation. And we've discovered that very few people realize there's even such a thing, such and such a thing as tech-facilitated gender-based violence. People are still grappling with the idea of physical, psychological. Some people even think that gender-based violence is only physical. When you see a woman being hit, when you see a woman, and that was why gender mainstreaming is important. We're still trying to get people to understand that there are currently 5 forms of gender-based violence people are aware of: the psychological, the emotional, the physical, the financial, the verbal. Some people don't even consider verbal when a man is shaming a woman, verbally talking down to her. But now we've left those 5 and we're now looking into the data online. We've seen that millions of Nigerians are currently online. And I realize that data has it now that as of 2024, 2025, as of 2024, 2025, there were over 100 million individuals using the internet in Nigeria alone. And that puts so many people at risk. In terms of designs, conversations have been had about how far influencers are willing to go around the concept of rage baiting. I don't know if you're familiar, Lucy, if you're familiar with the term rage baiting. What we see online now is a case of influencers intentionally inciting provocation against certain individuals just to get comments and likes because it is monetized. Social media has gotten to the point whereby monetization has removed humanity from people. Monetization has cancelled out ethics from people, whereby for the need to get likes and votes, especially influencers, it will surprise you to know that especially influencers practice rage baiting often. They will take a post which they know is inciting and they will post it only to have people come under that post and make the most hateful comments. And this is one of the reasons why this conversation is so key. And people need to read more about this conversation and not just read more. We feel very privileged by the applications because we have members of the press who joined in this conversation. We have news media, we have members of the development society, and we even have some people, students and entrepreneurs, who may not even be familiar. So we brought Lucy because of her expertise. And believe me, she really crunched this conversation because tomorrow we're still having another powerhouse. Tomorrow we're having the acting director, regulation and compliance for NITDA, who's going to be talking about some of the things you spoke about. I saw Chris in the chat was mentioning the reviewed cyber security act for Nigeria. So he's going to be talking more about that. But I would love for you to just, give a few words out there for those who may be new to this concept. Those who may be new to this concept entirely, so that people realize that so long as you're using your phone, whether you're male, whether you're female, as long as you're online, you're either culpable of TFGBV or you're on the other side, you're at risk. So we need to be conscious of how we're using our mobile phones. So I'd want you to say one or two words, and I would really love to check the chat box to see how people are responding to this conversation. Like, is it a new concept to you? Are you hearing it for the first time? Is it something you're familiar with? Is it something you're going to keep reading on? These are some of the conversations. So we'd really love to see more conversations in the chat box. And I would like for you to just highlight more. And I love the examples. I want to just commend your lecture today and highlight some more examples for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Deola. I was even about to talk on how many of us are following the pay stack saga. Sorry, I like gist. Online gist, because as like I said from the beginning of this conversation, I am a researcher. And so every single thing, we research everything from what's going on online, what's going on in the world. And so how many of us are following the pay stack saga? You can see the whole conversation, how it's building. And it keeps building, everybody having their own side piece to the conversation. As they're having their own side pieces to the conversation, people are now taking our parts. Like I saw somebody said, why are these women even shortening their Igbo names? Why can't they go with their full name? What's it about Igbo women and shortening their names? Someone else was saying, all feminists, everybody following the feminist drama all feminism movement people are witches. Do you see how this conversation is now being torn apart and everybody is now taking part and making it about specific set of people and then witch hunting those specific set of people. These people are anybody that identifies as a feminist is a witch. That's what it means now. Anybody that is abbreviating their Igbo name, I don't even know what is wrong with them. I don't even know. And then the other part that would take out again and say, you see why I don't want to get married again? You see why I think all Nigerian women are like this? I have to travel abroad to go and marry one woman. I think all Nigerian women are. You see how conversations like this, which when they are not contained, when they are not contained, when there are no yes, that's the word, censorship on conversations, censorship online. People can talk what they want to talk. People can say what they want to say. People can do what they want to do. And that rage baiting thing that Mr. Adiola talked about, like I said from the beginning, I gave an example of Gengen University. I had to wake up this morning and I had to go online and check what that thing. because I've been hearing it all through. Gang, 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 gang. When you want to talk about something, somebody just say gang, gang. And you're like, what's this thing now? So I went online and I was like, oh, let me check what this gang gang thing is all about. Gang gang University. And I checked and you see celebrities buying it, celebrities hyping it, and say they will show one celebrity say, he's now going to gang gang University. And listen to that guy's conversation, every single thing was pointed towards women. How women are this, women are that, women shouldn't be doing this, women shouldn't be doing that, women should not be allowed to do this, women should be, you see, sometimes we don't, and some of us just, we repost these things. You see, we repost it. We repost the message. You are abetting an offender. You are aiding. In fact, if you are in a law court, they'll say aiding and abetting an offender. You are aiding and abetting. So you are reposting somebody else. The person that you posted to is reposting. The person that you are liking, when you like and share a conversation, you are increasing the algorithm. You are increasing it being seen. Do you know that? You are increasing it being seen. So people are now seeing, once you continue liking and sharing the algorithm, people are seeing more. It means that people can now see it more. It comes up more on people's feed. So when you share, when you like something that is like that, you are increasing their percentage of being seen. When you repost, you are increasing their percentage of being seen. So that's how you and I are aiding and abetting the offenders. I think that's where I'm going to stop now. All right.
Okay, I have some questions here. Let me read them out for you. It says, what gender-specific digital harm do you believe is most overlooked? Yeah. What
So please repeat the
gender-specific?
question.
Okay. What gender-specific digital harm do you believe is most overlooked?
Okay. So one of the ones that are really easily overlooked is misinformation. We looked at a data that was form of that is misinformation and disinformation. We know deepfake. Everybody is that one is a deepfake. We already know. We know cyber hacking, but that misinformation and information, we overlook it a lot because like I said now, information is circling. You don't even know whether it's true. You don't know that person did it. You don't know that person said it. All you do is, I said it. This person is like this. You just repost. You are reposting, you are reposting, you are reposting. Someone sent you a WhatsApp message. I knew this person was like this. You did not even confirm. You did not even consent. You share. And there's this one thing we Africans are very proud of. We are proud of it. Somebody will just come and say, that person, can I have so and so number? Can I have Mrs. Deola number? You will not even ask Mrs. Adiola because it's an African thing. You will not ask her, should I share your number with this person? You just go online. You just tell that person, I will share the number with you. Don't worry. It's easy. I will share. You just share the number. And the person now calls Mr. Adiola. Mr. Adiola is saying, hello, who is this? And she's like shocked. How did you get my number? Maybe she doesn't even want that person to have a number in the first place. How did you get my number? So these are the things that we overlook. Misinformation, like I said, doxing. We just overlook these things. It's easy to fall through the cracks. That's it.
Okay. All right, thank you. The second question we have, so why don't we have reliable data aggregation systems in Nigeria for major assessments? We rather use international data compared to home assessments.
The thing is, some of this data is available. There are some people like TechSafeHer. TechSafeHer is collecting data like this. It's just, this data, they're available, but mostly what we see is international data. Yes, that's the truth. And that's why it's important that people like you, people like me, go ahead and, help get this data out there. Help get this data. Sometimes they post survey online. People will not even like or say yes or no. They'll just pass the poll. So if we start to say, let's do a poll online to see how many women are going through or how many men are going through tech-facilitated violence, because it's not an interesting, engaging thing for people, you just see them do swipe, swipe. They swipe it and they swipe it out. They're not taking the poll. So it's important, not just we saying that this data is not available, but it's us also owning the responsibility and saying that, okay, we think that Nigeria's data is everywhere. Why not we also get this data? When people post survey on this data, why don't we just take the poll, take the questionnaires, so that Nigeria can have their own authentic data detailing these conversations? Yeah, so I think that's my take on that question.
Thank you so much, Ma. I guess that's the end of the questions. Guys, do we still have more questions? We will love Miss Lucy to answer. Feel free to still put it on the chat box. I think we still have a little bit of time. Feel free, please. Anthony said, I have been cyberbullied by some people online, but I now have a better understanding of the situation. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you so much. Please, when is the next meeting holding? I believe that even rage baiting should be sanctioned. We are humans before every other thing. People go as far as committing suicide as a result of cyberbullying. That's coming from Esther Chinemere. Yeah. So, what part do we have to play to stop this? Okay. So Esther Bayo is asking, what part do we have to play to stop this? Okay. Over to you,
Right.
Ma.
Okay, like I said, don't repost. When you see, don't repost. When they don't like, don't share. Because as you are sharing, as you are liking, algorithm is altered. More people are now seeing it. Don't like, at least from your own part. From your own part too, because we're only looking at one dimension of this TGBF thing, which is we're asking questions on one side. Second part is also protect yourself. Are looking at one side of how external happens to you. But this time, like I said from the onset, people hack your devices, hack to get into your conversation, to get into your life, hack your Facebook, hack your WhatsApp to get into and steal your identity. Learn to even protect, aside from waiting external, internal, also protect yourself. Make sure you know that you have gone through all the privacy authentication on your own phone. That nobody can get to defame you by using your own identity to do nefarious actions. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Make sure all your digital information are kept safe. All the authentication processes, you've gone through it, and you're keeping yourself safe, that people will not use it against you. And in case you are being bullied, I believe there are reporting channels for you. Like I said, VDM and Yabujo was a case, and it was reported to a law firm. It was reported to the police. Yes. In Nigerian Cybersecurity Act, the people that are in charge of ensuring that that act is executed, that are the actors in the act, is policemen and EFCC. They are one of the main people that are in charge of that, making sure that every single violation of that act is put to books, is the police and EFCC. So you can go and report to the police. If you feel that if you feel that you're cyberbullied, you can go and report to the police. And protect your mental health as much as possible. If it needs you, unfortunately, sorry, it's my personal advice is not any psychologist. I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but personally, if you feel that you are being cyberbullied, you can also go offline for a while. Just go offline for a while until everything settles. That's just my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your participation, and special thanks to our facilitator for such an inspiring and insightful section. I will come to the end of the section. We come to a wrap for today. So tomorrow, we've seen how day one looks, so we know how day two will look like. So let's get ready for day two. Let's get ready for day two, please. Tomorrow we will be having the Acting Director, Regulation and Compliance, NICDA, handling the section on digital safety and identity protection. If you haven't joined our WhatsApp group and Telegram group, please do for regular updates. Please, we have them pinned on the group so you don't miss out on any messages. You don't miss out on any messages. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Thank you, everyone.